Okay, so let's take a look at the lead gen systems. Okay, now remember the BARP system was also a part of traffic system and remains to be a part here. Okay, the BAP systems, and the hub plays an important role in that for converting the leads. With the activate, if you remember, was all about lead generation. So we'll focus over here on again the whole lead generation element, which after the traffic sensation it comes through. Okay. With that said, and if you're familiar with the entire gamut of traffic activities and the RFM from it's continuing from the rise one. Okay, so it should not be something of surprise to you. But what happens during this process, right? So we discussed the traffic coming to play, but there is an element of what is now moving from a landing page to a lead capture, right? The orange box to a blue box. Now the transparent blue shaded part is all about what your lead magnet is doing, right? And the RFM system, when you feed it with that, will help you using that magnet to convert automatically the lead captures. Right? That is how it works. Okay, so what happens with the lead magnet is an important element as we discussed. So your energies during the lead gen perspectives in the larger blitzscaling elements should be from creating the right kind of lead magnet that works the best for your assets that you create. Now, webinars play an important role in this. Okay, so please visually imagine there is a shaded portion between lead capture, that is the blue box, and that golden box of webinar. Right? What magnets play an important role while people come from your landing pages or websites with the virtue of the traffic from different social elements, right? Will be a little different or could be a little different what happened during webinar because those could be live, right? What best has been seen working for a lead conversion from in webinars because the traffic in that is live, okay, is with you. So there is a social influence which has already happened, okay, of the persona of the people that you know. And you would have created by virtue of storytelling and communicating what you need to. So there is some sort of influence that existed. So that sort of lead generation, that means conversion, will be a little different. In such cases, typically people are on the edge for your digital assets. And what has been seen working the best is when you give too many freebies or discount or any of such elements which is of monetary benefits or of value which is much above the price that you're offering. Got it? So that conversion is a little different conversion from a lead gen perspective compared to what is happening from the lead pages to your or the websites to your lead capture activities, where you might not even see the conversions happening. Okay, at times you will not even know what is happening and who is the person you're dealing with. So that has to be perceived in a different fashion, and this has to be perceived in a different fashion, right? So in the case of landing pages, emotions, and the whole element that we discussed earlier, just to refresh, is the fact that we talked about the discounting, the value, the memberships, the early birds, all right? All this plus, all this plus the value in terms of the freebies in terms of discounted freebies with the higher value coming their way for the price given is in the webinar. That conversion is much faster compared to what happens from landing pages to the lead capture. Okay, when you give both the same, right? That means anybody can have landing pages to your for lead capture elements. What works automatically there might not be really truly happening in the during the webinars. Okay, the conversion much better in webinar because you are storytelling live in front of them and giving them some live demonstration of things that your digital asset is capable of. So think like this when you are devising your creative or your strategies for such elements. Clear? I want to lay emphasis because this should not be confused as one kind of shirt fits all. Right? So with that said, let me quickly also talk about the omni-channel. So the omni-channel now has a perspective about how corporate views these things. If you remember in the earlier conversation, I mentioned the fact that for blitzscaling, you require all these systems to work synergistically to get the outcome that you're looking, and all of them automated, right? So if you see what happens during an omni-channel active, if some channels of the omni-channel is active, you have social media, you have social platforms, your website, you have mass notification, all working together. What does it comprise of? It comprises of native ads. Native ads is something which is specific to that region, for that activity or for that nation, if you will, and for the persona of people that you're targeting there. Okay. It would also include the social media and the video ads, the YouTubes of the world or the social media, the etc. Right? So those becomes a social platform. Then you use social media for, say, using emails. You use your web notifications and through WhatsApps and the others of the world, SMSs through your phone systems. Or if there's an application that is being used, then you use application for passing those notifications or through banner ads and all those activities that play the role of your mass notifications. And then you use chatbots and the other elements of influencers and other activities which are using platforms and websites together, or your website where you're finding those blogs being sent out regularly and you have a subscription base, or the newsletter, which then culminates from all sides and all direction to form a basic channel. This is a continuous flow of traffic. Now, this traffic includes the leads as well as a general traffic, okay? Because they come from all shapes and sizes. If your assets are capable to cater to all, then most of the traffic largely gets converted. If the traffic consists of various leads for various digital assets of yours, right? So they get consumed accordingly, right? In various domains and sessions, depending on messages that you provide through. So when you start viewing your system, you need to start viewing like this. Whatever social platforms, websites, social media, or notifications that you use, right? And some of them paid, most of them unpaid in your case, right? If you're a small, medium kind of a solopreneur, or entrepreneur, or a small, medium-sized company who doesn't want to put so many resources in place, then whatever you pick and choose from your ROI perspective, right, depending on the CTAs and other elements of conversion, you use all this most effectively when your messaging and your lead magnets are basically in tandem for that specific relative audience, right? Now, why I mentioned the corporate view and why you? Because I mentioned how big or to what extent that this whole thing works through, right? To blitzscale at a very, very fast-paced activity. In the case that you might be in, because your resources might not be as many as you would want to, pick and choose any of those which you think are most potent for you and pertinent, and with time nurture them, right? So don't just stop once, oh, this is not working, that is not working. You need to nurture. These things will not work in one shot, never. Okay, for anything in the world doesn't work in one shot, right? Unless some sort of genius who's done this for the last 10 years and now you're attempting for the 11th time for something else, right? So everything that you do will have to get nurtured. Your digital assets will get nurtured. Your marketing elements will have to get nurtured. Your thinking process will have to get nurtured based on the traffic that you get about and the lead generation conversions that happen. Okay, so nurturing becomes the common and hence the change, right? So if you part of Rise 1 and Rise 2, or Stop No Change Realization, the book that has been written, I think that helps you understand how these systems work. So you'll have to go in the continuous improvement mode throughout. But whatever has been mentioned here is at a scale that you probably might not be thinking while we speak, right? But once I give you these examples, you understand the level of blitzscaling that can happen, right? It's all this is working. And this requires millions and dollars of investments, but it gives you a return of multifold accordingly. Please understand this, okay? So think in those terms what you can, because you will get those multifold outcomes, right? So with that, what we'll do is we'll go and jump to the next one. I'll see you there.